I wanted to share a mind trick for doing hard things. Trick is to reinterpret the word hard. When people say that things are hard, it implies that things could be too hard, and if they're too hard, you can't do them. A more useful interpretation, if you want to do more challenging things, is simply the harder it is, the longer it's going to take. That makes it clear that it's not a matter of if, but of when you'll succeed if you decide to tackle something. And this isn't just an optimistic fantasy. It's something you can prove to yourself just by taking on increasingly long projects. Start with things you can knock out in a couple of minutes and ramp up to more challenging things. And inevitably, you'll gain confidence that hard projects are nothing more than long projects, rather than being something you can't succeed at doing. I basically did this unintentionally throughout the course of my life. The real light bulb moment for me was when I finally learned how to do a trilled R, which might be the hardest thing I've ever learned how to do. For most people, it's not as hard as it was for me. I think it depends somewhat on the shape of your mouth and tongue, but it's something I repeatedly tried to learn when I took Spanish for 4 years in high school, from when I first tried to say perro. So several years after that, I was still really jealous of people who could do it, and I made a concentrated effort to learn how to do it. So first I spent an entire day locked in my room, contorting my face in weird shapes and making embarrassing noises, and I still couldn't manage it. I tried again the next day, and I got nowhere, and I became a little disheartened. But for some reason, I just refused to give up, and so I spent like a couple hours a day for the next few weeks, and after about 2 weeks, I finally stumbled into it, and then refined it from there. And now I can do it. I'm not the best at it, but after a lot of failed attempts, I finally invented a decent light bulb. And I think that's literally the last time I ever seriously doubted that I could do something. And at this point in my life, I don't really believe in things I can't do, and that's a good feeling. This is just an important life lesson that I've internalized. If you don't stop pursuing a goal until you've succeeded, you will find it very difficult to fail. Now, this does not mean you can do anything or never give up no matter what. First of all, there are some goals that cannot be achieved simply through hard work or having sufficient merit. If your success depends on the cooperation of some central authority or gatekeeper, then that's going to be the limiting factor. For example, if you want to date somebody and they turn you down, you should not just endlessly keep pursuing a relationship with that person, because in that case, it's not really up to you, it's up to them. Every person is a gatekeeper for their own relationships and has the authority to turn anyone down for no reason at all. Success can be limited by resources, so not everyone can win the lottery, not everyone can be a pro athlete. Even if everyone was equally talented and worked equally hard, sometimes there are just limited opportunities for success, and success becomes mostly a matter of luck and not effort. But even for things that conceptually can be achieved with enough effort, some things can take more time than they're worth, and sometimes you don't have enough time. For example, some things maybe you'll be dead before you can finish them. But you can discern those things pretty easily. Before and while you're working on something, you can decide if you have enough time and if it's worth it, given how long it's going to take. And if you decide you have enough time and it's worth it, then you can do it. If you don't give up, then you won't fail. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of time.